My name is Jamin Goecker. I'm an associate real estate broker in the state of Alaska. My mission is to help you build an intentional and significant legacy for yourself and your family by coaching in real estate. Today, we're talking about the hardest places to live in Alaska. Now, these are my personal, the places I would think would be hard for me to live in Alaska. Your list might be completely opposite. Whatever it is that I'm giving, I might be listing these off and you might be like, hey, that's exactly where I want to live. Nothing wrong with that. These are just my list of places that I think would be tough to live. Before we get started though, every single time you watch a video, you best like it, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let's get to today's video. I'm going to give these to you really in no particular order, and really the first one is going to be like the Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, really the whole southeast Alaska area. Just for me, that's kind of a tough place for me to really see myself living, and the reason is it's remote and it's not very well connected. So the only way you can get there is by plane or by boat. And that's a little limiting. Plus, it's going to be more like Seattle in a lot of its climate, where you're going to have a lot of rain for a lot of the year. I mean, it is glorious, absolutely, during the few days out of the year where it's like really bright and sunny out, and it's just an absolute rainforest and perfect in a lot of ways. But you're going to pay for it with a lot of rain throughout the entire year. So for that reason, I kind of see Southeast Alaska as a little tough to live in. All right, now this next one, I'm going to tell you what it is, and I'm going to kind of start this out by saying this is actually a place I wouldn't mind at least trying for a little bit to see if I could make it work, and that is Kodiak Island. And the reason I think it would be tough is kind of the same reason for Southeast Alaska that I was talking about. The only way to get there is by boat or by plane, and you're on an island, okay? And you're there with a lot of bears, and there's really not a whole lot of activities to be had in that area. Now, also, community is awesome there, and like your sense of community is going to be much higher than it's going to be just about anywhere else in the lower 48, and that's not for nothing. So I think if you're kind of a social person and you can make those new friendships and community is important to you and you don't mind having that really slowed down pace of life, then, Kodiak could be a great option. I mean, plus, it's Kodiak. Like, it's so dadgum unique that it really a shame not to at least go visit one time in your life. All right, now this next one, I kind of feel like I didn't make this video like trying to troll all the areas where I don't practice real estate, but next one is going to be in a Homer, Alaska. And I mean, Homer's great. I was actually looking at purchasing a property down there myself not too long ago, and absolutely beautiful. Like the 2-hour drive. Man, I guess actually if you're coming from like the south central area, I guess it's closer to about 5 or 6 hour drive or more. Actually, I have to look it up on the GPS. But anyway, getting down to Homer, like that whole drive is worth it once you come out up above the bluff and you have like this glorious view of Homer just down the steep hill surrounded by all these incredible mountains and the ocean, and you've got the Homer Spit right there, and it's absolutely incredible and still seems like it'd be a tough place to live because, again, kind of a small community. You're at the end of the road. Literally, that's what they call it, Homer. It's the end of the road, so it's as far away really as you can get going south on the main driving highways, and kind of a smaller community, and so you better really be able to press into that. Plus, you get a lot of tourists that kind of cycle through and then they go away, they leave, and a lot of the businesses that are there just kind of fold up. So it's definitely a vibe. It's a different pace of living, and if that's your jam, Homer's going to be a great option for you. For me, living full-time, I don't think I would really make it work, at least this phase of my life. We'll revisit it in the coming decades, and who knows, that might be my thing at that time. Let's go and take a break real quick here. For those of you who've been watching for a bit, you'll know got a relocation guide. If you're looking at moving here to Alaska, you want to get some more information, reach out to my website. Link for that is in the description section down below. Just make sure you put in relocation guide in the comments section so I know what to send you, and we'll get that over to you. Also, if you are looking at moving to Alaska in the near future and you're trying to find a place where you can plug in, feel like you belong, do make sure you go join our Facebook group. Link for that is in the description section down below for the Alaska Monthly Meetup group. And this is awesome if you're just trying to connect with people who've recently moved up here and really kind of get some instant common ground with these people. And it's a great place to meet and kind of socialize and everything. So make sure you take advantage of that. So again, link for the Alaska Monthly Meetup group is going to be in the description section down below, and we'll just be making announcements about upcoming monthly events. The second one is pretty dadgum intense in a lot of ways. This next one is pretty much like the extreme version of Alaska, and that is kind of the Fairbanks North Pole area. A lot of people kind of gravitate towards this area because it is the extreme. Okay, this is where it's like, you know, -50, -70 or something like that, just absolutely frigid. And then during the summertime, it is super hot as well. So, I mean, it kind of gets the short end of the stick on all the seasons there. I mean, it is incredible. It is beautiful and all that. But every time like I go there or I look at the forecast, I'm just like, you know, you maniacs, what were you thinking living here? Like, it seems like it'd just be such a rough environment. And then you actually get less sunlight over there during the winter time than actually what you get over in the South Central Alaska area. So there's a lot about Fairbanks that is just a little extreme for me. I would probably tap out very quickly if we were talking about, you know, living in Fairbanks. Again, beautiful, great place to visit, probably just a little fast for my pace. The next place on my list is going to be Willow. Again, awesome to visit. I love the vibe of the small town and everything. I've just not been able to really plug in there and, you know, really get a sense as to like what the community, what do you do here in this area besides more or less live off grid, super remote, and just kind of vibe in whatever property it is that you have. I really do like kind of that, what is it? The Willow fishhook road that goes up through the Hatcher's Pass. That is incredible, beautiful. Did that this past summer, and you know, picked a lot of blueberries out there, so that was awesome. Beyond that, I'm really not sure what they do out there, so that might be it. I don't know. You know, that and like mushing dogs. So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably being a little harsh on Willow, but yeah, it wouldn't be on the top of the list of places I would personally want to live. Seems like it'd be a little tough because it's also, you know, colder, I believe, than where I'm currently living. All right, this last one here deserves its spot as probably the toughest environment to live in all of Alaska, and that is Barrow. Barrow is the most northern town in all of the U.S., and I have actually gone and visited there before, and it's its own environment. You are never going to find another place like Barrow, at least in the United States. You go there, and the water table is about 10 feet under the surface, and which means there is just water constantly coming up through the ground. You've got a good portion of the year during the fall time, it's just going to be so foggy they can't even land planes. Actually, the time that we went, the big concern was we were going to get stuck there for a couple of weeks, because that's what the previous people who like just, you know, left when we got there, that's what they were saying. Like, we've been here for 2 weeks longer than we meant to, just because, you know, the fog was so bad that they wouldn't land. And there's a whole story there for a lot of reasons. But yes, Barrow would be tough for that reason. And I mean, also you can't drive there. The access is almost all plane. I guess technically you could make it there on boat, but yeah, that would be quite a voyage to be able to get up there. Not a whole lot to do, you know. I mean, at least for me personally, I need a little metropolitan in my life, and Barrow's not a whole lot going on as far as that goes. They do have, you know, kind of a beautiful culture up there and everything. That's not for nothing. And yeah, tough environment. Like, it's the Arctic Ocean literally right out your back porch. And they've got polar bears and everything. Like, just kind of going through town. And yeah, it's going to be almost, well, not almost, like, it's dark for, I think, like, what, a month and a half, 3 months. I don't know. It's dark for a large portion of the year over in Barrow, just black. And you can imagine how tough that must be on your mental well-being and everything. So yeah, I mean, hats off to the people who live in Barrow. You are a much hardier people than I am, so hats off to you. But this has been my list for kind of the top toughest places to live in Alaska. I sure hope it was at least entertaining for you. I know you're all going to go do what you're going to do anyway, so I hope it was at least entertaining for you. If you have any questions about Alaska in general, like, feel free to reach out to me. Be more than happy to help, and we'll see you next time.